Hi, this is your girl, Teresa, with the NTheknow radio talk show. And my first guest is attorney Andrew Dunlap. And he does cover not only the DFW Metroplex, but the entire state of Texas. Welcome to the show, Andrew.
Hey, thanks, Teresa. Thanks for inviting me.
No problem. So, not that I would ever need an attorney, but
oh yes,
I
you
did,
would. You would need an attorney. You will need one.
I will need one eventually because somebody may want to sue me for something,
or
right?
because of your success. Any successful person needs a lawyer.
Oh, okay. So, are you bidding to be my attorney?
Yes, I am.
Okay.
I'm always looking for new business.
Well, I think I'll give him my business if I need an attorney because we're neighbors and we're friends and he's just a wonderful guy. So I'm going to let him tell you a little bit about his law firm, which is Andrew Dunlap Attorneys LLC or P LLC.
Correct.
What's the P mean?
Professional.
Professional. Okay.
Professional limited liability company.
And that's for individuals that are either doctors, attorneys, or
yes,
things of that nature.
Someone who is a licensed professional.
Oh, I just have an LLC because I'm just me, right?
Well, you know, that's perfectly fine. That's perfectly fine.
Okay, so my first question, what made you decide at a young age or whatever age it was to become an attorney?
Well, you know, that's a very interesting question. And it goes back to 1968. Wow. I know. Wow. I don't look that old.
Of course.
At least that's what I want to think, you know. But it was during the, I grew up in Kansas City. Okay. And it was during the Holy Week riots of 1968. And you can actually go on Google and YouTube, and there's a whole documentary of what occurred during that time. It was right during the same week that Martin Luther King Jr. was assassinated and buried. Wow. And a lot of riots broke out across the country. Right. And one in Kansas City. And I was a 15-year-old kid at the time. And I actually witnessed the police start the riot.
Oh wow!
It was shocking to me because as I saw, I was downtown Kansas City at one of the very busy intersections there in Kansas City during the day, and I was on my way to work. I was 15, but I wasn't really supposed to be working. But you know, I've been working since I'm like 11, 12 years old. So I'm standing on the corner and I hear this roar. And it sounded like, you know, maybe an airplane was trying to land or something. And I looked up and I saw this column of motorcycle police officers. Oh, wow. It was like 5 across and 3 or 4 deep. So the roar was deafening. They entered the intersection and blocked it off. They took their motorcycles and they blocked the intersection off. Then they got off their motorcycles, put on their gas masks, and then start throwing tear gas into the crowd.
For no reason, they were not unruly or anything?
Everybody was there, you know, waiting on buses and things. So, of course, panic broke out. Right. And I ran, you know, I was scared. I ran right into a police officer. And fortunately, this police officer, you know, saw that I was a little kid, but they arrested me. And I was arrested and thrown into the paddy wagon, you know, tear gas and everything. And eventually they couldn't charge me with anything when I was released, but that changed my life.
I bet it did.
I was like, I'm going to do something about this. And 9 years later, I graduated from law school.
Where'd you graduate from?
University of Kansas.
Okay.
So that inspired me to see the injustice and the corruption that, you know, is present in our society. Now, that was 50 years ago.
So we see it now.
Yes.
We still
thankfully, see it. You know, it has changed to some degree, but those problems still exist. And the problems of unfairness, the problems of injustice are still, you know, very prominent, and I deal with it every day in my law practice. So that's why I became a lawyer.
What a story.
Yeah.
You know, I always love hearing the beginning.
Right.
What made you go into the field that you're in, and what made you choose whatever you're doing today. And it's been, you know, very enlightening from talking to different individuals to see what their story is.
Yes.
And that right there is an amazing story, especially with it being Black History Month.
Right.
You know, so when you look at back when you were a 15-year-old child and you were thrown into jail for just being in a place and not doing anything, how do you see the situation in today's environment with police and people of color?
Well, we have, America has a long history of racial disparity. It's built into our society. It's built into our laws, our institutions, our customs, and our policies.
Okay.
And despite the fact that we had a civil war, which tried to resolve that problem, we've had all these other things that take place. The mindset and the heart of many Americans has not changed. And laws are there to bring people to account for wrongdoing. Laws do not change hearts.
Right.
Okay? Your heart has to change. So in America, there has been, like I said, so 1968, the year that I experienced that, was the year that Congress passed the 1968 Civil Rights Act. Okay, and that act basically put into law a lot of things to protect people of color and other people, and it's so fitting that that happened, you know, when I decided to go there. So now I practice. A majority of my practice is based on the 1968 Civil Rights Act.
Wow.
Isn't that something?
Isn't that something?
So it's embedded in our institutions. It's embedded in the way we see each other, and racism or white privilege affects everybody.
Yes, it does.
Okay, it not only affects black people, it affects white people. Okay, because when you have a system of privilege, you don't have to claim that privilege. It's given to you. Okay, you don't have to say, well, I'm white and I have privilege. You don't have. You already have it. Okay. The problem is that in our society, that many whites, you know, embrace that privilege and they won't do anything to do away with it. You cannot have a society where one group has a privilege over another. It will not. It's not sustainable, you know, over the long run. Now, so far, you know, we've done that, but it just cannot continue, especially as our society is more and more diverse. You know, in about 20 years, America will be majority minority.
Exactly.
Okay, and so
it's already what they call a melting pot.
Right. So when that happens, there's a lot of, and what we see today in a lot of the political struggles that we see today, and the reason why our president wants to build a wall is because of that fear that one day whites will lose the political majority.
Oh, wow.
So now what are they going to do? Up to now, they have the political majority. There's, you know, about 69% of Americans are white. That's still, America is unique in that it has the largest percentage of non-white residents in a white country. Okay? None of the countries in Europe, most of the countries in Europe are 98% white. Australia is that way. So America is it is a white majority country, but it has the largest percentage of minorities. So in a way, America is an experiment of people from different races and cultures living together, and that is what America is supposed to be.
Yeah, that's a beautiful thing.
Yeah, it's a beautiful thing. That's the way, that I believe that God intended man to live together because he made all of the races.
Right.
Okay. He loves all of the races, and they all reflect him. So America has struggled with that. That we have these ideals, but putting them into, and if I'm talking too much.
No.
Just, I'm a lawyer, so
I know you
I'm
are.
going to run my mouth.
You are
I get paid to run my mouth.
No, it's not that you're talking too much.
Okay.
You're talking just fine. You're giving us education during Black History Month, which is very, very valuable. And not only are you giving us information, you're giving us information from what you experienced firsthand. Right. And so that's always great. So let the audience know, they know that you're an attorney, but what type of, there's so many different types of attorneys. Do you work for the courts, or do you work for the people, or you civil? Or?
I am the owner of Me, Myself, and I.
Okay.
No, I own my own law practice. I have an associate attorney working for me. I've been in Dallas since 1982.
Oh, wow. So you've had your practice
since
for how many years?
That would be it'll be 37 years.
Wow.
I've been practicing law since 1977.
Okay.
So 42 years.
Wow.
Yeah, 42 years. Everything about me, and when I'm relating stories, is 30 years ago.
Okay.
40 years ago. So I came here in 1982. I was stationed at Carswell. Okay. When it was an Air Force base.
Okay, so you were military.
I was an Air Force lawyer.
I was getting ready to say.
Right. I was what they call a JAG, and I did that for 5 years, and then in 1983, I left the JAG Corps and moved to Dallas.
Okay.
I was in Fort Worth.
Okay.
I lived in Fort Party Worth,
Oh, Fort Worth. Funky town.
Yeah, funky town, cow town, and I moved to Dallas, and I started my own practice.
Okay.
And over that time, I've practiced in various areas.
So what's your specialty?
Right now, I do labor and employment.
Okay. So
civil rights.
There you go. Boy, my dad and my mom retired from the government.
Okay.
They were federal, and so they were civil rights investigators.
Wow.
See?
Yes.
Yeah. Yes.
And so they work for EEOC, right?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah. And so, and this is, it's funny because, I always, when I decided to go into law practice, it was about making change. It was not about making money.
Right.
Okay. But I never, when I first got out and started my practice years ago in Dallas, you got to do something that makes you money.
Yeah.
So I did. I was a personal injury lawyer. Okay. I still do personal injury.
Okay, so if you get hit or
hurt, I did automobiles, personal injury, slip and falls. I also did medical malpractice.
That should be a big one. There's a lot of that.
Well, yeah. Unfortunately, the laws were changed about 25 years ago, that made it more difficult for people to sue their physicians. So it's like you have to thread the needle. You almost have to, have a situation where the doctor sewed up a transmission inside of you.
Oh my goodness,
that.
With all the disclaimers you have to sign and everything before you go under.
I still handle those, but not as much. So then I also do criminal.
Okay.
And
criminal like what?
Criminal defense.
Okay, so somebody did something, somebody stole something, somebody did something bad.
Murders, rapes, drugs, all of those kind of things. I've done that. And I used to do workers' comp. Okay, and then now I do race, age, gender, sex, religion, discrimination, Americans with Disability Act.
Okay.
I deal with family leave, FMLA, FMLA retaliation when you are granted FMLA and your employer tries to retaliate against you in some kind of way.
What's FL?
Family Medical Leave Act.
Okay.
And I also do labor disputes.
Okay.
I represent, at my current caseload involves representing university professors, flight attendants. What else do I have going? I handle sexual harassment cases.
Okay. I know you're rather close.
I'm probably gonna get written up, but HR's got to kind of, hey, Drew,
You can leave that back off of the indigo lady, okay?
Keep those boundaries, keep those boundaries.
See that split?
But so it's a lot of interesting, and I've gotten under this new president. It's like people think that we don't have these laws and they can just, flat out discriminate against people. So I have to sue and say, wait a minute, just because you have a president that doesn't believe in these things doesn't mean that that's not the law.
Oh, okay. So would you consider yourself, if you were to let everyone know what you do, would you say that you're more of a one-stop shop for all your attorney needs, or?
I would say yes, because if I can't handle it, I know somebody who can.
Okay, so you can refer it out.
I know hundreds of lawyers in Dallas. I used to be the president of J.L. Turner Legal Association.
Would Julius?
Huh?
Would Julius? No? J.L. Turner?
Yeah, J.L. Turner. It's the Black Lawyers Association.
Nick Pittman?
Yes.
Yeah, okay, I know that whole group. Yeah.
Right.
Okay.
Years ago, I was president, and so I'm pretty well known in the legal community here in Dallas. I know
you used to do Capco.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes, I did. And
okay.
So what I tell people is, I get a lot of calls based on relationship.
Right.
So I'm on Facebook, as you know.
Yeah, tell everybody how to contact you.
Okay, I'll tell them in a minute. Okay. I'm on Facebook, and I'm out there. I'm just talking, and I'm talking about all kinds of stuff, right? It's usually I'm bragging about my little granddaughter, or I'm talking about justice.
Yes, you are.
And so I get calls. I get calls all the time. People will instant message me, or send a messenger, or whatever, so I get a lot of business from Facebook. So I'm just not out there just goofing off.
Good. So let me ask you this: with Facebook, do you actually pay for ads, or you just interact? And people don't understand that through interaction and conversation and education, you're able to generate a lot more leads and people that you can talk to, other than just doing straight marketing, because it's forming a relationship, a trust. They value what you have to say, so they call you.
And I think that those are your best clients,
right?
Okay, because they are looking for you.
Exactly.
And so you've already have a level of trust, with that client. Whereas if somebody's calling you based on lead generation, you've got to build that level of trust with them. Now, the way that people can reach out to me is Law Office of Andrew Dunlap on Facebook, or
say that again a little
Law
bit slower.
Office of Andrew Dunlap on Facebook, or you can look up Andrew Dunlap on Facebook. Also, my website is dunlapattorneys.com. You can actually go there and leave your phone number and your question and your email, and you'll get a response.
Okay.
You'll get a response from my office.
So that's Dunlap Attorneys with an S.com. It's one of the websites. Now, if they wanted to reach out and call you personally from your office, where would they call?
It would be 972 807 6357.
And say that again one time for me.
972 807 6357.
Okay, so again, if you want to reach Andrew, you can go to his website, which is dunlapattorneys.com, or you can go on to Facebook with it Andrew Dunlap.
Yeah, just look for me on Facebook.
Or you can just simply Google the dude.
Right. just Google
Just Google him, and you're going to see so many different links and things of that
right.
nature. So you definitely want to reach out. If you need an attorney that you can count on, that you can respect, that is going to help you through this situation from part A all the way to part Z, and educate you in between and take care of you, you definitely want to reach out to them. Now, if you don't personally need an attorney, then what I need you to do is to look at all your friends that possibly could need an attorney, and then you're going to give them the website. That's dunlapattorneys.com, so that he can help and assist you. I want to talk to you further. I just first wanted to thank you for coming out to this station, which we're going to show you the card. And we are, you want to see it right there?
Y99FM, KYBS.
And we're serving the Baltimore
live on the air.
Yes, we are. And this is the radio show for NTheknow Radio Talk Show. And we just value the opinions of our audience as well as our guests that come in. And so we hope that we continue to provide you with education, entertainment, people to see, places to go, businesses to visit, so that you stay in the know.
Awesome.
So tell us another story.
Tell us another story about...
Oh, it's 102. We can't tell another story.
Okay.
But what we can do is we can bring you back and talk about some issues. Some of the issues that we want to talk about is, I hear this all the time from Christians, is they feel like they're under attack with all the different laws and things that they now have to
talk about that. Right.
It's almost like we have to fight to just do regular stuff anymore.
Right.
And everybody else has more rights than we have at some point. So we want to talk about that and get some callers to call in. So we're definitely going to bring you back.
Sure. Thank you, Teresa.
But I do thank you for coming in.
Thank you. You're a sweetheart.
Yeah.
Appreciate you. You know, we've known each other for a long time.
A long time.
Yes. We used to attend the same church.
Yes.
And, I knew you when you were real young.
I know,
You were
I'm
a little young. Oh well, no, you was a young little honey.
Yeah, he was checking me out in church.
Yeah, she was married, so
I was married, so he left me alone.
I let it go.
And now I'm divorced. I know.
I don't know how we reconnected.
I think it was on Facebook because you had. Saw
I know why.
Why.
We'll have to tell that story the next time we come on the air.
Okay.
Remember when you were at that little thing and the guy was helping you?
Helping me move or what?
No, helping you get off the fire truck or?
Oh, off the fire truck. Yeah. Okay, so we're gonna tell the story right now.
Okay. Tell that story. Okay, we'll tell that story.
Okay, so one of the things that I do, I work in the community with Medicare. So I had a vendor table set up at an event that they were hosting in Southern Sector. So one of the things. The firemen were there and they came around and it was like, who wants to go up? Who wants to go up? Who wants to go up? I didn't know what they were talking about, but I wanted to go up. So I said, I want to go up. And so once I went around there, it was going up the ladder all the way up in the air, and they had it all the way up. So, you know, I couldn't chicken out then. So I went up the ladder. So he was chiming in on the fireman that was behind me.
Who was so carefully caressing you as you were going, I don't want you to fall. I was like, I think he's really enjoying what he's doing there.
He was protecting me. He was so protecting me so that I wouldn't fall. That's all it was. So, but he chimed in, and I chimed back, messing with him. I was like, he sure is all holding your back. He is like that close to you. And so,
I was a little jealous.
Yeah, you know, he was a little bit jealous. That's so sweet.
Yeah.
Yeah, isn't that sweet? You got these admirers from the far.
Yes.
And then we ended up we're neighbors. We live in the same area. And he became my customer.
Absolutely.
I do insurance. So when he aged
I buy local and I buy black.
Okay, and that's what's up.
That's right.
That's Black history.
Yes. I'm like, I had all these, for people who, when they get to my age, you know, and the young brother right here, he got a long way. They probably won't even have. They probably won't even have Medicare when you get there.
I know King is like, what are y'all talking about? What age?
But anyway, so they will, if you go out and, you know, inquire and go online and say, you know, you'll see this ad. Oh, you know, all these Medicare plans and everything. So then they'll get your phone and they will call you and harass you.
Oh,
and I'm still getting calls.
I bet. You're right.
I got calls.
We're in OEP right now.
Okay. So anyway, I was with another company, and it was time for me to switch. And so I talked to Teresa, and she was able to get me a 0 premium.
Yes, I did.
And she did
with benefits.
With benefits. She did it so professionally, and I was like, wow. So for those in the audience who are needing Medicare plans, don't waste your time. Yeah, just get with Teresa. Just call your girl. You know, get with Teresa. I mean, because she knows what she's absolutely. I tell you, we were having some problems. When we called the company, and she took control of that situation, and I was a little scared. You know, she was like, "Wait a minute, she was chop, let's get this thing solved." So she was able to solve that problem.
Yes, and I think it's important. A lot of times when you take on a client in your field, my field, whatever it is, the initial resolution of whatever they desired is completed, then a lot of people would just walk away.
Right.
I'm a full circle. So
yes.
I'm going to be there after you enroll. If you want to change, if you got any issues, I'm your girl, and I fight for you, just like an attorney fights for you. That's right. I'm a Leo. So
I'm going to eventually hire you for my firm.
I know.
You're going to be my marketing. You're going to be my marketing director, and when that happens, oh my goodness.
You're just going to blow up.
You're going to blow up.
Change that zip code.
Right?
All right, this is your girl, Teresa, with the NTheknow Radio Talk Show. And I again want to thank my boy. This is my boy right here. And this is Andrew Dunlap. So definitely check him out on Andrew Dunlap. DunlapAttorneys.com. Peace out.
That was excellent.